The next weapon that we have available is the breach cutter. This is currently the secondary weapon for the engineer. There is, as of the time of this video, we're a few days away from Season 2, which will drop the third one. As of right now, this is your other choice besides the PGL. The way this gun works, this gun is unlocked, its weapon assignment is unlocked for you when you get your engineer to level 15. This is designed to be another high damage, low ammo option. The way the gun works is it fires out beams. These beams are 1.5 meters long, and they have a lifetime that they will stay alive of 1.5 seconds. So they will travel in a straight line for 1.5 seconds. They deal 575 damage on contact. There is a short delay of 0.2 seconds before the projectile will actually reach its maximum length, and that is taken out of its projectile lifetime, so it's actually 1.3 seconds. It has a magazine capacity of 3. It has a maximum ammo of 12, which means you get 4 reloads out of it. You can fire off 1.5 shots, so it's basically 1 shot per second. It has a reload time of 3.4 seconds, which means it has the second highest reload time in the game. Believe it or not, the autocannon has the longest reload time. This is a very high damage option. It's in fact a higher damage option and a higher ammo capacity option than the grenade launcher, but at the cost of a much smaller radius. There are a lot of unique modifiers for this weapon. We're gonna work our way up because they do have 3 options that basically act as mini overclocks. This tier actually does feel like much more impactful for how the weapon works. So at tier 1, we have the projectile lifetime versus the high capacity magazine. High capacity magazine increases your magazine size from 3 to 6. Basically doubles it. This also means that you only have to reload once when you use this gun. So you can run this to cut the reload time out if you wanted to run less ammo. Personally, I run the increased travel time. This is better for your overall DPS. You will get a ton more damage out by running this. This doubles the projectile's lifetime from 1.5 to 3 seconds, so it will travel for longer, hitting more enemies and dealing more damage in total. Remember that it deals 575 damage on contact. This also works as well if you run the overclock, where return to sender, where it comes back to you if you press the button, so you can hit enemies again a second time on the way back and kill just about anything. At tier 2, we have the all-important choice of more ammo or more damage. This gives you 50% more ammo, going from 12 to 18 ammo. This is the one I obviously run. Any of your heavy weapons with low ammo should have more. You can also get the condensed plasma. This gives you a bonus 175 damage, so this means that you deal 750 damage. However, in my opinion, this doesn't really do a lot. What this does is it takes down the time to kill a Praetorian from 3 shots to 2 shots, and I'd rather have extra ammo. The last one that you have as well is the area of effect. So this pairs nicely. It increases the beam's width. So now it's 3 meters long instead of 1.5 meters long. To be honest, this really isn't great unless you're trying to create the Great Wall of China build, which features another mod we'll talk about later. It's not worth the reduced ammo in my opinion. You need that ammo. At tier 2, or tier 3, we actually have a very tough choice to make for no apparent reason. You have quick deploy. This reduces the plasma's expansion delay. So instead of having a 0.2 second delay, it's immediate. As soon as you fire it, it's max width. Or you have a reduced reload speed. Now this reduced reload speed takes it to 2.8 seconds. This puts it on par with the Hurricane or the corrosive sludge pump. I personally run this. I like to reload this. I don't use Born Ready. So, in my opinion, that is, like, critical for putting it back in range with what I call the normal reload heavy weapons. This is really nice, though, because what'll oftentimes happen is you will fire the projectile, and enemies that are moving towards you, like if they're right in front of you as you're firing it, they'll sometimes miss the damage because the beam hasn't expanded yet. That kind of eliminates that. It's not worth it compared to the reload. At tier 4, we have the armor break or the stun. In my opinion, it's easy. It's the armor break. This takes your armor break up to 300%. And the only real reason is I don't like the stun. So the way the stun works is it's 100% stun duration, stun chance for 3 seconds. The problem is if you're hitting anything smaller than a Praetorian, it's gonna die. So the stun chance is wasted. Really, this is good for stunning Praetorians, and I don't really think you need it. I think the armor break is better because you can just hit a Praetorian with one shot, break most of their armor, do some damage, and then just switch to your primary and shoot it. Or let your turrets do the work for you. So in my opinion, this is the best modifier. This is the best build to run. Right here. Now we can talk about your mini overclocks. The one that I run is the triple split line. What this does is it takes the plasma beam and fires it in a stack of 3. This does not reduce the damage. Each beam still hits for 575. The trade-off is that you're not going to be hitting a target with more than 2 beams. Except for an oppressor. And even then, you're aiming that thing right into the ground. Now, this is very good because this gives you the ability to hit pretty much anything. You can't miss with this. And this is the one that I run because I actually miss a lot with the primary, with the first choice. However, the Great Wall of China build, where it gets bigger, you got 3 massively long beams that come right at you. That's a really good build to run. It's fun, but it's not necessarily as effective as the extra ammo. Your other options are alright. You have Explosive Goodbye. So the way this works is the projectile will explode at the end of its life cycle, or you can manually trigger it by just pressing the trigger a second time while the projectile's in flight. This removes your ability to spam the projectile out. However, this gives you the ability to do a bunch of damage. And then leave a plasma field on the ground, which gives you a puddle damage, which you don't normally have access to a puddle damage weapon here. Similar to the corrosive sludge pump. I really just don't like this because it means I can't spam it, and I want to spam it. It's a single fire gun with a relatively slow rate of fire. So, too much thinking involved. And Return to Sender is better if you want to have that much thinking involved. The plasma trail is kind of nice. Basically, it leaves behind a residual beam of plasma that any damage that is in contact with it will take damage from. Now, that plasma trail only follows behind the weapon. It does not cover the same lengths. It deals 25 damage per second, and it only stays up for the length that the beam is up, which means you do need to make sure that you are running the extra length on it. In my opinion, it's just not that good unless you're aiming it relatively low to the ground to hit crawlers. I just generally prefer the triple shot. Excuse me. This weapon by default does have more ammo than the grenade launcher, so if you're not planning on adding extra grenade launcher ammo or something like that, this weapon is your high ammo option. This also does have a relatively shorter range than the grenade launcher does if you don't aim the grenade launcher, which means it's not a great weapon to pair alongside the Warthog. In my opinion, it's best to pair it along the Stubby. It's not really great with the Smart Rifle, pairing it with that, because it is a relatively low ammo build at that point, although you can get away with it. The Breach Cutter, by the way, is a plasma-based weapon, which means it does have it does work well with heat. It has a slight heat chance, very slight. It's not mentioned, but it's like 10%. So,